The Bronchiosaurus has a neck measuring approximately from 30 feet to or 9 meters long, depending on how like what your measuring system is. The max length of a Bronchiosaurus from tail to head was 40 to 45 feet off the ground.
Ooh, that's
The total length was 65 to 82 feet. The neck length 30 feet. The vertebrae 3 feet. Their diet, they needed to eat to 400 and 900 pounds of vegetation daily.
Fun facts with Chris.
Good job, Chris. You're good to go.
All right.
Have fun.
Until we meet again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait, hold on. Don't turn her camera off. Let's see how long it takes her to realize.
Oh, no, wait. She's gonna keep her camera on.
Dwarf gift.
Why is he in a different shirt again? I like it. All right. So Caleb and Noah, I'd more than love you guys to chime in your guys' thoughts and opinions on the questions and or activity that we're going to be doing later. It's going to be a really quick topic. We're going to be talking about video games and things that we grew up with from a young age. Sorry, Nathan, I know that your memories are clouded, but I know that your video game playing has probably been pretty good in certain areas. So hopefully we all got some good things to chime in. Oh my god, how many shirts are you gonna come in with? There's gonna be a shirt counter like somewhere in this area. It's just gonna go ding every time you come back in with a shirt. Okay, so first question, we're just gonna hop right in, is favorite childhood video game, like the one that you just remember playing a lot growing up.
Dexter.
Probably something between Legend of Zelda on the N64 or something like Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah, I think for me it'd probably be like Super Mario Brothers on the SNES. I think that would be one that I would think of because, you know, I was born late 90s or the late 90s. Yeah. So I barely made it, but I still made it with like, you know, I grew up mostly playing the Super Nintendo and the N64. That was mostly my childhood on what we played.
The SNES was fun, but we didn't have a lot of SNES games growing up. We had more stuff for the N64.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, for me, I'm torn between Pong, because I played that really early on an Atari, or God of War, which was my early 10s.
He went for another shirt, didn't he? Gosh dang it. I looked back and he was gone.
I am torn between Pong and God of War. The OG God of Wars.
What about you, Caleb?
He's with Jack and Dexter.
That and Crash Bandicoot on the PS1.
Okay.
Ooh. Actually, I want to add Sly Cooper to that as well.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Okay. Noah, did you say something? You said Spyro.
Yeah, I said Spyro.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, Spyro's good as well.
Okay. Best memory. Best memory related to video games. So if it was like playing with your brother, playing with sibling, playing with dad, funny thing that lives rent-free in your head. It could even be like more recent type thing. But it's just best memory you have that pops up right away related to a video game.
About any co-op game growing up playing with my brother.
Yeah. I think for me, a lot of my memories growing up, like best video game memories, I would say would be like playing split screen online Halo, like Halo 3 and up, like with my brothers. And the best memory I have is I was using an energy sword And my brother got really upset with me because he's like, "Oh, that's such a cheap weapon and whatnot. Like, it's easy to use that." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, it's there." And he goes, "Well, anybody can just..." And as he's mid-sentence and he's holding a sword, somebody comes up to him with, like, a pistol, and they killed him without him being able to sword back in time. So as he's, like, getting on me about how easy it is to use a sword, he got taken down with probably one of the puniest weapons versus the sword. So that's just like a random little memory that lives rent-free in my head.
I'm probably playing like finding the Lego world with my kid brother after we 100%ed Lego Star Wars Complete Saga,
That's cool.
where you could find the tractor and all the other stuff, all the random stuff that had nothing to do with Star Wars, but was just Lego stuff.
Yeah. I've seen videos and stuff for that. Me personally, I've never 100%ed the Lego Star Wars video game. So, but that's cool. That's cool that you've done that because, yeah, I've never actually done that.
Yeah.
Anybody else heard of a game called the Tasmanian Tiger?
Nope.
Yes.
No.
It was such a bizarre game. You're just a Tasmanian tiger in like Australia. Fun game, but I don't know if there was actually a plot.
You were just a tiger. The shirts are going to start getting tighter and tighter as you add them.
They already are.
Gonna have to steal Chris's shirts.
Already do.
Oh, that's a big crap.
These are all of my shirts.
What about you, Noah? I don't think I heard one from you.
I'd say favorite memory is probably just waking up early on Saturday mornings, just before everybody else gets up. Going to Channel 3, just playing my GameCube or PS1 games.
I don't think I knew you were a PS1 player.
Yeah, no.
I've only
my
ever
family
known you
had
as
PS1 and
Nintendo.
PS2.
Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
E.
I don't think I ever did anything PS1. I think as far as PlayStation went, I only... Your one random New Mexico shirt. I think as far as PlayStation, I think my most experience with it is the PlayStation 2. But we'll get into my experience with that later. So, another one is a video game that you wish you could play for the first time again. Like, experience it for the first time.
Ooh.
I'll just say the Pokemon franchise. It is. Each one is a new game, but
Is it
doesn't
really
feel
though?
like
The
the
same thing for years.
thing. But being able to experience like a Pokemon game again for the first time.
Not knowing at all what to do type thing.
Yeah.
Like getting lost a lot. That was my most experience when I played for the first time. Just getting lost and not knowing where to be.
Probably a Fallout or a Final Fantasy.
I think Halo 3.
Yeah,
And
I'd have
that'd be
to
a
agree with
cool
that.
campaign.
And those moments of just grandeur of it opening up to like a massive ring, you're like, whoa, we're on a planet shaped like a ring. Those moments in Halo, yeah, I have to agree with Jim.
That is fair though.
Dwarf, did you give me an answer? I know you were thinking.
No, I'm trying to think. That's a difficult one for me.
Because I know that, like, it's hit or miss whether there's a lot of video games that would come to mind when you're thinking of that type of thing, or if you'd just have a hard time thinking of any
I'm
type deal.
kind of having a hard time thinking of, like, there's not many I would want to replay for the first time again.
Vampire Survivor. I didn't realize you had the Tord one. The Tord one. I didn't realize the Tord one made it on there too. That's great.
I would have to say the Borderlands franchise.
That would be a good one. I think that would be a cool one to go through. So going off of kind of related to like whether it was the game you brought up for your favorite childhood or the game that's your favorite memory from when you were younger type thing. What is a game that you still play or that you return to that you played like back then? Or do you? Do you have access to any game that you played back then from your childhood that you would still play today? I played Halo at a very, 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 very young age, and I still play it, so that would be my cop-out answer, is I still play Halo.
I played the 5th on how often I've played
Spyro.
Spyro, yeah.
I've seen you on it pretty often.
I would have to say Final Fantasy IV for me.
And I'll be
Caleb,
honest,
come here.
I'm actually planning to replay that here soon.
I was so sad when Jack and Daxter they kind of said maybe they were gonna do a remastered, and then they didn't. So I definitely want to play that through that series again.
Jack and Daxter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
They even had a race in the
really
game that
fun
was
one.
pretty dope.
The sci-fi elf thing with the weird little cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Believe it or not, that's his best friend who got cursed because he touched an artifact that he shouldn't have.
I've
about right.
seen a lot for this. I just honestly never knew what it was for. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think either the Halo, for me it'd be either the Halo series or like I find myself going back and like playing Super Mario Brothers or like Super Mario 3 or just like the GBA games and everything. I find myself going back to those just in my free time. I enjoy them. They're fun little pastime games for me.
That's fair.
All right. So that's our little like questioning area. Now I have my activity, which is another mini little voting thing. It is called the Console Wars, the best of the Console Wars. As most people, and I'll say most, I won't say everyone, but as most people agree, Steam has recently won the Console Wars with their Steam machine.
Very much so.
And their release of all their crazy things that they're releasing. But starting back in the year 2000, we had what was the prime of the Console Wars, and I am going to be going through the years, the decades from 2000 to current. And I will have you guys vote of which one wins the lineup of the released new consoles from the three giants of Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. We don't got any PCs in there because this is Console War, so Steam's not going to be represented here currently. I will not be talking about handheld devices, strictly consoles, and I do have my lists here in front of me of the years that they were released, so it might sound a little wonky in some of these comparisons, but this is what I had to go off of. This is how they released these consoles. Especially with Nintendo.
Oh.
Nintendo went very hard on just handheld stuff for a long time. So there's big gaps between things on that one.
So we're basically only discussing the second console wars, not really the first console wars between Nintendo and Sega.
Yes.
Granted, I think the winner of that is obvious.
Yeah. There wasn't really a war there. It was more of a slaughter. Anyway, we keep her going. All right. We start in the years of 2000 to 2005, our first round of the console wars. The original Xbox was released, the GameCube was released, and the PlayStation 2 were released during these years. These were the three
PlayStation
giants that were going against each other. What do you guys think? OG Xbox,
PlayStation 2.
GameCube, or PlayStation 2?
I would have to give it to the PS2 at this point in time.
Yeah,
don't know.
same.
I'd say GameCube.
My uncle had an Xbox, I had a PlayStation, and I had friends that had a GameCube. There wasn't enough of a variety of games for the GameCube at that time. Okay, so I didn't care, but like say I was put back now, I would almost guaranteed buy a PlayStation again over either of the other two. Aside for something like Halo.
And comparatively, one of those consoles was still being made up until recently. Up until like a few years ago, if I remember correctly. and that was the PS2.
I mean, it's been quite some time.
Yeah.
Like,
My vote would be definitely
mean-
for the Xbox though, because at the time
The
it
Xbox
offered
only
far
had-
more. It offered more multiplayer games than PlayStation. PlayStation really seems to be aimed more towards single player games.
The original
online.
Xbox
A lot of the bigger
wasn't.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the original Xbox definitely had more of like an online space, but PlayStation at that point in time had the better variety of games, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say well, yeah, it did have more online options, but I would say that like
They were both very limited on online capabilities, very limited.
as far as like playability, like playing with a lot of people type thing, I heard a lot more people doing like LAN parties and stuff with Xboxes than I knew with anyone else type thing. So I would want to vote, and hear my wording, I would want to vote OG Xbox, but as far as which one I appreciated during those years, it was the PS2 during those years. It was mostly Dragon Ball Z is what we played a lot
Spider-Man.
during that time. Spider-Man and Skate. Those were our 3 games that we played a lot on the PS2. And the original Xbox came into play later in those years, but if I had to go off of like what I played, it would be the PS2 in those early years.
On the GameCube, you've got some Nintendo classics that came out on that one, like Super
There-
Smash
no,
Bros.
There was great classics.
Melee.
like
Several Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, even the Legend of Zelda games, most of them didn't come until later into the GameCube's lifespan. Like Twilight Princess was a mid-2000s thing.
Twilight Princess I consider more of a Wii game, but the big GameCube one was
Motherfucker, no. Twilight Princess was not a Wii game.
Technically, it was both. It came out at about the same time
It
as
did.
the Wii, so it had a
It was,
GameCube version. and Wii.
it was designed for the GameCube. Skyward Sword was the main one that definitely was Wii. Don't get me wrong, Twilight Princess, I know they had the fucking Wii version. That was the first version I did play. But I preferred the GameCube version for Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Twilight Princess released the year that the Wii was made, if not just before. So it would make sense that it was released as like one of the
Yeah.
main probably Wii games that they had during that time.
It just didn't really get a chance to utilize everything that the Wii was going for at the time.
Yeah. So, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're currently in this area. We're talking. So, based on what we've heard, which one did you say, Dwarf?
PS2.
So, and then Nathan, did you say PS2?
I said PS2.
So in this current VC lobby, we have 3 for PS2, 1 for GameCube, and 1 for OG Xbox. So as far as the first part of the 2000s, it looks like the PS2 is in the lead. Sony is representing in this first little area, at least in our small group. That is the personal opinions here. We're jumping into the next portion of the 2010s. We're in 2006 to 2012 is the next chunk that we'll be looking at. Xbox 360 was released, the Wii was released, and the PlayStation 3 was released during this time. My personal is 360.
Wii.
Very
Same
much
here.
agree.
When the 360 was released, that's when we chucked our PS2 and said we want nothing to do with this, kicked it out the window, and we played our 360 to no end.
Yeah, that PS3 for PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got the Wii. That's revolutionary. That
The Wii was very revolutionary for its time when it came out. That was a big deal that it was doing. I'm not gonna give it to the Wii from my own personal. My own personal is 360, but I will agree with you that it was revolutionary during that time.
I'll agree that the Wii was a neat gimmick. I never liked the motion controls. I thought it had some fun games. Like I love Wii Sports Resort.
Mhm.
I love Wii Sports.
Boom Blocks was always fun. I liked that one.
yeah.
That was good. But there wasn't enough of a reason for me to. I had it, but aside from like a select number of games, I mean, Nintendo just never really, besides like a SNES or an NES, after that, Nintendo just kind of really fell out for like my household and myself personally.
Yeah.
I'll emulate a bunch of their games, but I'll never necessarily go for one of their consoles again.
I think it was like later. Well, no, I would say, as far as like owning, I would say we from like 06 to 08, 09. For me, the Wii was really big in our household. And then from then on, it was all 360. 360 was like booming. Like that was Halo 3 online. That was Black Ops 2 came out on the 360. And all of these different other ones were going on during that time. For me, 2012 was a huge jump in like that was a huge thing with online gaming specifically in the shooting realms and stuff like that. So for me, I would say 360 personally, but the Wii did have like a pretty significant like hit into pop culture during that time.
The Wii was
Let us play.
back when Nintendo actually kind of gave a shit.
Yeah. Okay, so then let's go through this. So I'm saying 360. Nathan, which one are you saying?
360.
Okay, Noah.
We.
We.
Yeah.
Caleb.
360.
360. Dwarf.
360.
All right, sorry, Noah. Noah, you're not gonna fend too well in the next area too. Sorry.
I know the Wii U didn't.
Yeah, the Wii U,
well.
that was a piece of shit.
The Wii U was very far ahead of its time.
So, funny enough,
Far ahead of its time, but nowhere near where it could have been.
it was really oddly enough, as far as like, hold on, wait, let me verify. I might have written it on here wrong. Give me one second. Yeah, this one. Released. Yeah, that one was actually in the next gen. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next area that we're going to be talking about is 2013 through 2016. That is the Xbox One and the Xbox S/X. Oh wait, no. I think that's it's just the Xbox One. Sorry, I wrote that doubled. My bad. Yeah, so that one's just the Xbox One. Xbox One against the Wii/Wii U, because the Wii was almost halfway through this timeline, and then the Wii U came out towards the end, and then the PS4. So the PS4, Wii/Wii U, and the Xbox One. Personally,
Xbox One?
I'm still giving it to the to Xbox. I feel like Xbox reigns supreme, in my own opinion, as far as the console wars went for a long period. When the 360 really took off to the Xbox One, I would say it really hung in there.
It really depended on how we were looking at it. Story-based games, PlayStation definitely had some bangers for the PS3 because we had like Bloodborne, and Demon Souls and a couple other stuff. But I would almost always go back to an Xbox One again.
Mm-hmm. What
At
about
this
you,
point, it's
Noah?
not really- We're starting to get into the point where like Xbox and PlayStation, the consoles themselves really aren't that remarkable.
No.
We've basically just got to base it off of the games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Games, community, and so on and so forth. Like PlayStation community at this point was more tight knit,
Yeah.
and when it came down to it, it was more so. At this point, do you want to play with friends or do you want to play story games?
Yeah.
And
It
I
was
think
very much what kind of player you were.
Mm-hmm.
at
And
this
at
point,
this point in time, PlayStation was very much known for
yourself.
their story games.
Yeah.
and I think Xbox's big selling point. It was like Halo
Entertainment.
5 at this point.
4.
4?
4, I think, at that point.
It was 4, and then towards the end,
Yeah.
it was 5.
Yeah.
Honestly, just
might
the
be.
state of the market at that point. probably PlayStation, because that's probably when Xbox is starting to take its downturn.
Xbox One. So this is when this is the big clunky one. This is the one that was
2015, yeah.
advertised as the all-encompassed fucking entertainment system.
Right.
So this Xbox did take like that huge punch in the gut because they were trying to market as no need to have a DVD player anymore, no need to have XYZ. This was a weird time for gaming stuff because PlayStation at the same time did kind of do that, but they were more. This is also when everybody got rid of old CDs, and it was like only Blu-ray will work on this now.
Yeah.
But I would still have to go with Xbox over PlayStation just because at this point in time I was playing more social games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, same.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Same versus the last time. Just multiplayer games has always been more important to me is playing with friends rather than story
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. For me, it has to be the Xbox because at this point in time, I had just my friends and all my previous games were on Xbox at that time, so it's just that's where I stayed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see that. You still own an Xbox right now, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. I do too. It's right here.
Chris has hers in the front room.
All right.
Those are in
So
my closet.
it sounds like that one's a pretty clean Xbox One. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
like there's much debate towards the others. All right. So the next gap we have is 2017 through 2024. That is the Xbox One S/X models. The Series X came out, I think, towards the end of 24, maybe the beginning. The timeline starts getting a little wonky as I'm going.
Xbox, the Series stuff, that was, I want to say
The
2020,
Series X
2021.
released first, then it was Series S.
Right.
I want to say the
Because
Xbox Series X, didn't
Well, I
that come out in like 2020?
no, the Xbox One S was out for the longest time before the Series X
So
came out.
you had the One S and the One X.
One S and One X, and then the Series S
Okay.
and Series X came out. That's when it got really weird because they were just like different models and they weren't really changing
The
very
Series
much.
X, so the refrigerator came out November 10th, 2020.
What it is? Hold on. Series. Oh no, you're right. What the heck? Why did I get confused on that then? Well,
this
then
is
they're
gonna
not
be
gonna
like-
have very much to talk about over the next two categories. Then, same thing with PlayStation. Anyway,
Yeah,
so we're
PS5 came out in November 2020. Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
So that's our next.
that's the
next
next two. It's now till current for the most part. So the only one that's gonna change is Nintendo.
I mean, the Switch.
The Switch and the Switch 2 are the only ones that are going to change.
I'll be honest here. The Switch, I've owned a couple of them, and I'll be honest here. They just don't hold up.
I liked them for the novelty of which they
Yeah.
were. I liked being able to be like, oh hey, like I'm out with a friend right now. You wanna play Smash Bros? Cool. It's gonna be a tiny screen, but here we go. Pops the Joy-Cons out. Here you go. Oh, is that me? It might be.
Yeah, I know it's not. I know it's not in the running, but I mean, when it came down to the Switch, I mean, I would have preferred the Steam Deck or
Yeah.
whatever the other stuff was.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have preferred any other version of a handheld console. I prefer my phone over a Switch.
Which we are strictly talking about that.
Right.
That's where it gets a little gray area with the Switch and the Switch 2. Is I'm trying to get away from the handheld because that opens up a little more if I do that.
No, it
Well, I mean, it
opens.
is-
Yeah, it opens.
So we will talk about the Switch only while it's docked. I'm not gonna let you talk. If your point is I love the carrying, like it's not gonna be a point that goes towards it. We're gonna strictly talk about how it is on the dock, plugged into your TV. You have friends over, or you're playing online, that type of thing. Like my biggest thing that I liked is how many people can connect. Like
Oh, yeah,
certain
I mean,
that
games,
was
you can
nice.
connect a lot of
Oh, yeah.
controllers.
You can get like 8 people.
Yeah, you can get like 8 people on one game, one console. That's
Fantastic for the
yeah.
household.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Switch, when it was docked, fantastic for the household.
Yes.
But as far as variety and everything else went, they just didn't. It never did it for me.
Yeah. No, I feel
So
that.
I was stuck with and I because we're now in PS5, Xbox Series, and the Switch, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
Right.
we're gonna skip the Xbox One S and X and just go straight to
Yeah.
Series S and X. So that's the current ones they have out right now.
As much
I
as
mean-
I mean,
What's really going for the Xbox in this time frame?
Not very much.
Right now- well, hey,
they're
prices
turning it
did drop-
around.
I was gonna say prices dropped way the fuck back down.
They're-
PC Game Pass is back to about $10.
They're turning it around because they're like, oh man, like we're not repping here. like,
the
like,
new
we need to
CEO
change this.
came in and went, "This was a bad move."
Yeah,
Even PlayStation currently is in a shit spot.
yeah,
Yeah, they've had
Yeah.
to raise the prices of their consoles as well. It's like
Nintendo's is also in a really
$9.95
shitty spot.
for a PS5.
Hmm.
And granted, the Xbox is no better. They raised their prices first and
Yeah.
got shit
Yeah,
for it.
right now,
Yeah.
I mean, no console in today's day and age is worth it, in my opinion.
yeah. It's hit or miss. It depends on what you're looking at. My biggest thing, and I am agreeing with you because I know ever since I've became more of like a PC gamer and I got my PC and everything, I don't see the point in getting just one of the consoles because it limits you.
It does severely.
So my biggest thing is wait till the Steam machine's out if you want a console, or get at least like a smaller gaming computer and just run it that way and build your way up
I mean,
type thing.
Unless you want like specific exclusive games.
There's
well,
not
there's-
many
the-
exclusives that
the
are
only thing for
exclusive
that
anymore
would be
now.
Well,
it would-
all of Nintendo's basically.
That is
but,
true.
I mean,
You can
Well,
pirate
PlayStation now as
all
well.
of that.
I
it's
do have to
fine.
play all of the current Nintendo games.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I mean,
Well,
PlayStation
there
has
is
a
no
few of
there
the
is no
exclusives, but-
piracy in oh gosh,
Well,
right.
I like to sell the
Bossing Say.
fancies.
Bossing Say, editor, cut that out. There is no pirating in Bossing Say.
Jimmy's talked to himself again.
So it seems like based on the win ratio here, Xbox won the console wars in the end, even though, you know, Steam has Ultra won and Super
I
won
mean-
and is doing its victory lap.
Windows owns
Has won
Xbox,
the
so
gaming
kind of.
wars. Or platform wars, I should say.
I mean, to be fair, Steam is also on Linux and Apple
Yes.
products, so it's not specifically Microsoft.
Guys, should I throw this at the ground and see what noise it makes?
Yes.
I love the fact that the new Steam controller makes it with scream when you
Will
drop it.
help scream when you chuck it. I loved the reels that I watched. That it's like, so you're gonna have people
Give me one.
purposely chucking this $100
Steam machine.
controller to the ground to hear that noise over and over and over. You realize that, right? And they're like, oh yeah, like, so, okay.
Go buy another one.
Yeah, just go
Right
buy
on,
another
Paul.
one. It's fine. Well, we put it in there as a fun little, like, if it happens, it happens. Not a, hey, you're going to go all day just chucking your controller to make it yell at you. So, but, all right. So then I feel like that's all I had for this one. I'm good closing it here. Dwarf, did you walk away? Dang it, Dwarf walked away. I was going to have him do an outro. Nathan, do an outro.